Hello, I am David with VetRec, and I will be showing you today one of our latest features, VetRec Labs. So, in order to enable VetRec Labs, it is very easy. It is currently an early access feature, and so you can find it through the early access area on the left-hand navigation. There you can enable lab access so that you can access the feature. What is VetRec Labs? So VetRec Labs enables us to be able to allow you to upload diagnostic information coming from X-rays, ultrasounds, any type of blood panels, etc., all up to VetRec so that we can leverage that information when we generate medical records, as well as client communications. Here, for example, I have a case for Bella. Bella is a spayed female domestic feline that is here for her wellness check. Bella is also a senior cat, and so as part of her wellness check, we're going to be doing hematology, chemistry, and endocrinology labs for her to make sure that she's doing all right. And so once those labs are generated, I can come over here to the Labs tab on VetRec, and I can go ahead and upload that report directly onto the platform. And upload them to the platform. Once they're uploaded, I can go ahead and analyze. What VetRec will go ahead and do is it'll take the lab result and read it. It'll look at all of the values that are presented. It'll look at what's normal and what's abnormal based on the reference ranges that are provided in the report. And then it'll go ahead and generate an initial interpretation report. That interpretation report is meant to be a guiding step that allows you to be able to see some of the trends that the lab report might show, as well as how they might compare to some of the other information in the case, such as physical exam findings and historical information. In addition to that, we also will go ahead and generate a client summary so that you can also send that information over to the client to let them know what that lab result said. And so here, while it's processing, we'll see information start to populate in just a couple seconds as we bring all that information in. Most importantly, all of the information that we generate off the lab report can be added back into the notes. And so in order to do that, we have a little handy button that I will show you in just a second so you can do that. So here we can see the results start to populate. So we can see that the report for Bella is starting to get populated. We see that there are chemistry and urinalysis values that were deemed abnormal based on the reference ranges provided. We also see that there were actually 4 tests that were run, 2 of which showed no abnormalities, and then 2 that showed abnormalities. You can always go through any of the reports and see how they showed up. We can see the reference ranges and then the flags that the system is providing. In addition, as I said, to the results, we'll then generate an interpretation report. These reports are meant to be a guiding step of what the case is showing based on all the information provided, and they can always be edited. So you can always delete things or move things around depending on what you want the report to say. In addition to the differentials, different interpretation that we will generate, we also will generate recommendations. So what are potential next steps to take, such as add-on tests, follow-ups, add-ons, etc., that should be done on the case, as well as a monitoring plan based on the recommendations. This is all editable and can be changed out and in and out depending on what you would like to do. Then finally, we also have the client summary. So we will take all that information from the lab and generate this client summary so that if you wanted to send this via email through our platform, or whether you want to put this somewhere else for the client, you can do so, helping explain to them what the lab result says and what are some of the next steps that we might want to take. We put all of it in a very handy summary that you can take a look at that helps you follow all of the information. You can add multiple lab results so that you can if there's multiple reports that you want, you can all add them in and the system will correctly go through them. As I mentioned, we are also able to add these information to the notes. So if I come here and press the Add to Note button, it'll show me the information that we will add. So it'll add both of the abnormal tests as well as some abnormals. And I can go ahead and say, yes, add it to this note. Once I hit Add to the Note, you'll see that the note will quickly get regenerated to include that information. something that's super important is that we're not regenerating the entire note. We're only adding the information that needs to be added to the note. In this case, in that plan section, we're going to go update those diagnostics in there to include the additional information that was included. So if I come down here to the diagnostics, before, you remember we had like 4 different that said planned. We now have the information, so we know when they were performed and the results that came back for them. So really handy way to get all that information back into the medical record, as well as have those recommendations, interpretations, and client summary ready so that you can send that out if necessary. So that is VetRec Labs for all of you. This is a early access feature that we're actively continuing to work on, and so any feedback is more than welcome as we continue to make this feature amazing for everyone. So thank you very much for listening, and catch you in the next one. Bye.